It's that time of the week again to talk about the spoilers and leaks for the latest episode of the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime. In this video, I'll be going over all of the spoilers and leaks that have been revealed for episode 37 of COUR 3 titled Shadows Gone. So this episode is going to be featuring the second half of SHUNSUI's battle against LILLE. There is quite a lot to talk about here, as we'll go over all of the story synopsis on the official website. Additionally, we'll look at all of the 5 preview images that have been released on the official Bleach anime website. Then I'll be diving into the leaks that have been revealed for this episode. Now be sure to stick around till the very end of this video, as I'll also be revealing the title for episode 38, and I have some details about how many episodes are left in COUR 3 which you do not want to miss. So without further delay, let's begin my video on the latest spoilers and leaks for episode 37. We got really tired of the same old boring anime shirts, so we decided to launch Getsuga.com with the aim of creating designs inspired by our favorite anime and manga. We came up with designs that look cool and represent all of our favorite stories. Check out the latest Instinct collection, which features some amazing designs like this Frosted Heavens design inspired by Toshiro Hitsugaya, or this Instinct design inspired by Holo Ichigo, and my personal favorite, which is the Heart design, which was inspired by Ukiura Shifa. Do not miss out, go to Getsuga.com and wear your favorite stories. So I'll be starting by going over all of the official information released on the Bleach anime website, and their story synopsis for episode 37 states that although Lil Barrow was supposed to have been defeated by Shunsui's Bankai, as he transforms into an even more advanced form and corners Shunsui, delivering his divine judgment. He gravely injures Shunsui, who is barely clinging to consciousness as Shunsui reaches his limit. Now it's at this moment that someone rushes to his side, and it's none other than NANAO Ise. NANAO begins to press Shunsui in order for him to reveal her Zanpakuto. This Zanpakuto is something that Shunsui has been carrying with him as long as he has been wearing that pink kimono over his shoulder. So the episode synopsis teases the reveal of NANAO's Zanpakuto. Let's now discuss some of the staff who are working on episode 37. So first we have Shinichiro Ueda, who has worked on the storyboard for episode 37 and is also credited as the episode director. Previously in COUR 3 he has storyboarded and directed episode 32, and in COUR 2 he had done the same for episodes 17 and 25, and in COUR 1 he was episode director for episode 7. So again, someone who is well versed with the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War anime, who has returned for episode 37. So I'm really excited to see what work he has done on the storyboard and the direction that he has offered. Another important credit is the chief animation director, who is Michio Hasegawa. Now Hasegawa has previously chief animation directed multiple episodes of COUR 3. These are episodes 27, 29, 31 and 34. He was chief animation director for 4 episodes of COUR 2, as well as 4 episodes of COUR 1. In terms of animators, Ayako Sato has been credited as one of the animation directors for this episode. She has previously worked on episode 34 of COUR 3. She had done some of the key animation for episode 17 of COUR 2, as well as being the assistant animation director of episode 26. Ayako Sato has been around for quite a long time. She also worked on the 2004 Bleach anime with various credits for key animation. Then we have Minami Shiba, who has been credited as animation director for this week's episode 2. They previously were animation director for 4 episodes of COUR 2 and 2 episodes of COUR 1. So yeah, there is a lot of talented and well-experienced staff working on this week's episode of Bleach. So on paper, it's already shaping up to be a solid episode of the series. So now we have the 5 preview images which have been revealed on the official anime website. So the first image for episode 37, Shadows Gone, is of this picture of NANAO, and she is holding her Zanpakuto here. It looks really well drawn. NANAO looks so on model. The second image is of an injured Shunsui. You can see that hole that has been blown into his right shoulder. You see blood pouring from his mouth. He looks absolutely exhausted. This third image here, you can see Lil Barrow in his divine judgment form, while he's transformed into that owl-like creature. You can see that there is some CGI with those green wings behind it, but overall it looks great. Lil Barrow looks amazing. This fourth preview image is of Nanao's mother, which reveals that we will be getting that flashback where we learn more details about the Issei family. And this fifth and final image is of Kyokotsu, Shunsui's Zanpakuto spirit, and we learn more about this particular Zanpakuto spirit within this week's episode. So episode 37 will begin with content from chapter 649, and we pick up with where we had left off, where Lil Barrow has been revealed to have survived, where he fires this blast through Shunsui's gut, stating that a mere Shinigami's Bankai cannot kill God's messenger. Then in chapter 650, Lil Barrow's Divine Judgment form is revealed in its entirety. Shunsui kind of concedes in chapter 650 that if his Bankai was not enough to defeat the Sternritter, then he gives up. But following this, NANAO arrives and forces a captain to get up as she pleads with Shunsui to release her Zanpakuto. Now this is where details about NANAO's mother begin to be revealed as Shunsui introduces Kyokotsu to NANAO. Chapter 651 begins with a flashback where we see a young Shunsui and we see NANAO's mother, who Shunsui introduces as his sister-in-law. So NANAO is seen during this chapter wielding the Shinken Hakyokan as Shunsui explains the details about her Zanpakuto to her, and he also explains about the Issei family curse and how NANAO's mother had entrusted Shunsui with the Shinken Hakyokan in a final bid to hopefully lift the curse from the Issei family. So the end of chapter 651 does reveal that NANAO is wielding the Shinken Hakyokan. Chapter 652 reveals additional backstory information of when NANAO was within the Shinigami Academy and when she had first spotted Shunsui wearing that familiar kimono and those hairpins which had belonged to her mother. We learned about how NANAO was enlisted into Shunsui's division. The end of chapter 652 reveals how NANAO's mother was executed and how Shunsui's older brother ended up passing away from the Issei family curse, and before he died he had entrusted Shunsui with the hairpins of his late wife. The end of chapter 652 shows Shunsui assisting NANAO wielding the Shinken Hakyokan with her. Chapter 653 begins with more flashback details where we see NANAO's mother giving Shunsui's older brother her hairpins. Because he was a Shinigami, she felt more safe that he was holding something that had belonged to her while he was fighting Hollows. Again, a lot of this flashback at the beginning of chapter 653 is speaking about how NANAO's mother had improved the bond between Shunsui and his older brother, as he felt like his older brother had mellowed out a lot more since NANAO's mother was in the picture. So in this chapter we see how NANAO's leg is injured when she deflects the attack of Lil Barrow and it ends up injuring her ankle, and by the end of this chapter NANAO reflects a massive attack of Lil Barrow right back at him as it destroys the right side of its body. Now this week's episode is going to be adapting all the way up until the title card of chapter 654. This is where Lil Barrow is pretty much defeated and Shunsui collapses as NANAO runs to him. So now let's go over the leaks that have been revealed for episode 37. So the leakers have said that Lil Barrow's new form is still hand-drawn and it's not in CGI. Also, Lil's voice is going to change when he transforms into his new form. And this flashback scene here between Shunsui's older brother and Shunsui, apparently the sad soundtrack Soundscape to Adore will be playing. So the battle between Kira versus the Flamingo small Lil Barrow forms will not be appearing in this episode because the episode ends much earlier at the start of chapter 654. So yeah, it's the title page for chapter 654 where Shunsui collapses after Lil is defeated. Now we move on to information about episode 38, and it's revealed that the poem at the end of this week's episode will be by Bazb, and it's the poem that is taken from volume 69. So from chapter 654 we are going all the way back to chapter 630 where Bazb's battle against Hashward begins. Episode 38 is revealed to be titled Friend. Now a lot of people have been speculating about how many episodes that we have left within Core 3. So this week's episode is 37, and usually at this point the following episode would have been a recap, and this was the case for Core 2 and Core 1. Now if you remember, the final episode of Core 2 was not complete since half of it had cut off and we had those comedy sections at the end, and the first episode of Core 3 was essentially recap from the last season. So because of this, they are not going to be having a recap in Core 3. Instead, we will be getting 14 episodes instead of 13 for Core 3. Usually how the cores have worked during Bleach 1000 Year Blood War is that there is usually a recap within the 13 episodes, and that final week we have 2 episodes released on the same day. Now for Core 3 they are not going to be having a recap, and instead of there being 13 episodes we'll be getting 14 total episodes for Core 3. So they've added 1 additional episode here. A lot of people are thinking, well, are they going to be adapting Bazb versus Hashward over 3 episodes? But I don't think that this is going to be the case. I believe that they could expand Bazb versus Hashward into at least 1.5 episodes, but I don't think that they're going to go over that because essentially Bazb versus Hashward is chapter 630 to 634, which is enough material for just 1 episode. So I feel like they could expand upon that fight with 10 minutes worth of anime additional content. Then the rest of episode 39 and episode 40 I think is going to shift over to the Askin battle, and we're going to see Yoruichi versus Askin in Core 3. That's going to be really interesting to see. So just to clarify, next week we're going to be getting episode 38, Friend. Then the week after that, we're going to be getting episodes 39 and episode 40. This is hopefully going to wrap up Bazby versus Hashward, and then turn our attention towards Askin. And we may even get those scenes involving Kira, where he is revealed to have survived, where he defeats Lil Barrow in his small flamingo form. Another important detail is that usually when there was a recap within Core 1 and Core 2, the previous episode did not feature a poem for the next week's episode, and there was also no title reveal. But here we've had a poem and a title for episode 38 according to the leakers. Yeah, again, a lot of people are confirming because there was such a lengthy recap in episode 27, they're going to be skipping that entire recap episode for Core 3, and instead we'll be getting an additional episode in this season. This is really awesome. Pure Films have done a fantastic job. If they have managed to squeeze in 14 episodes for Core 3, still we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, as we've got 2 more weeks of the Bleach anime left, and then after that we've got Jump Festa, where hopefully we'll get a teaser for Core 4. And if you haven't seen it already, check out my video where I speak about everything that we know about Core 4. I go over some insane information in that video, so definitely do go and check out that one after this. But yeah, we have reached the point of the video where I do want to hand over the discussion to all of you. What do you guys think about episode 37 of the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime? I'm really looking forward to seeing the finale of SHUNSUI versus LILLE, and I cannot wait to see the rest of Core 3, where we'll be seeing the Bazby versus Hashward fight. Hopefully we get some additional anime material expanding on their backstory, and then I'm really looking forward to see how they're going to handle the final episode. Are we going to see Yoruichi versus Askin? Will we get to see Izuru Kira? Let me know what all of you think in the comments, and lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this spoiler and leaks video, and I cannot wait to see you on the weekend for my review and manga versus anime breakdown for episode 37. A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.